three-time late model stock champion Bobby McCarty and crew chief Chris Edwards stops by to talk about working with his driver, Chase Burrow. Cars Tour Weekly, presented by Pepperjack Kennels, is up next. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of Cars Tour Weekly. I am once again joined by Keely Dubinsky, the Cars Tour girl. That's what your email signature should be.
You know what? Yeah. And maybe
what does it say?
Director of Operations.
Yeah, that sounds better. Anyway,
a little bit.
thanks for joining me again this week. And you know, we've had a little bit of off time, but it's like in racing when people are like, okay, what do you do in the off season? And then racers are like, what off season? What do you do during an off week? I know you're about to tell me what off week, but
correct.
But what is it like when you guys aren't hitting the track?
Honestly, it's we use this time to, really go through, I guess, like the financials and how well that we did in each races. We catch up on like all the merchandise. I will say yesterday, I went into the office knowing that we didn't have a race that weekend, and I think I stared at the wall for like 5 minutes because we've just been like so exhausted trying to get everything ready. I was like, I have a minute to breathe. This is so nice.
And you don't know what to do with yourself.
Correct.
But it hasn't been slow in terms of news. You guys announced, was it last week? You announced the 30,000 to win race coming up at Tri-County. Yes. Okay. How has the response been to that so far? And then I have a question about the purse.
So the response has actually been really great. A lot of our competitors really love to go to Tri-County. They have put a lot of work into that track with repaving and just really making it a race-ready facility. Plenty of trackside parking. We're getting calls all the time. When are those going on sale? So that stuff like that is really exciting for us to see. But it's going to be big.
And so the $30,000 purse, is that through the whole field, or is that like winner goes home with $30,000? Because I know sometimes you see these races and they're advertised, but it's not exactly as it seems.
That's a very good point. Our race, we are actually writing a $30,000 check to our winner. That's it. And the purse is going to be increased throughout the entire field. So even the start money is going to be increased. So our total purse for that is a number you don't even want to know.
No, I do want to know. You can tell me off air.
Okay, good.
Or we can talk about it next week. Okay, so that's coming up, and then of course North Wilkesboro. It's one of those races that I think we're all so looking forward to it, but it's gonna be here before we know it. So any updates on that? I think you guys the entry form's available now, right? For the Pro Late models.
Yes, for the Pro Late models. Yeah, the Pro Late model entry form is available on our friends at Pit Pay. They've been super great to work with this year. So any Pro Late model teams that are interested in running, get on Pit Pay, get signed up for that race because we're going to have a lot of cars.
Side note, I absolutely love Pit Pay.
Me too.
Back when Travis and I were having to orchestrate people getting to the racetrack, that was like a lifesaver. Any other fun events surrounding North Wilkesboro?
I mean, we're still in those planning phases of North Wilkesboro, and unfortunately, we did have to make a selected entry list for the late model stocks just because there was way too many entries. But I will say that we do have some really exciting things coming out about North Wilkesboro very soon that I cannot leak yet.
Can you leak on Cars Tour Weekly presented by Pepperjack Kennels?
Yes.
But just not today.
Okay. Yes.
Well, that's why we appreciate you being here. So thanks for joining me. And when we come back, we will talk to Bobby McCarty.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety, providing the most advanced driver safety products to NASCAR, IndyCar, sprint cars, and sports cars drivers. From grassroots to professional racers, HMS Motorsport has over 25 years' experience outfitting drivers with the best gear on the market. Equipped with first-hand product knowledge, our experts are ready to help you select the best harness belts, seats, head restraints, helmets, and racing attire for your type of racing. HMS is even the exclusive importer for Schroed belts, shoe Schubert helmets, and Valero base layers. Visit one of our stores in Mooresville, North Carolina, or Danvers, Massachusetts. Or check us online at hmsmotorsport.com, where you can learn the details of our products and order online. Safety starts here.
5-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market. Aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials. Tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
Racing returns to the legendary Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. The 49th running of the Icebreaker. See past super late models hit the track. It's one of the area's oldest modified traditions, the Icebreaker, paying $10,000 to win for the ground-pounding modified. It's the 49th annual Icebreaker at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, and you can watch it all only on Racing America.
What creates a winning combination? Quality, focus, discipline, and most importantly, speed. At Pepperjack Kennels, we provide exceptional water and land training services for hardworking retrievers. From leading in the field to leading on the track, together we establish winning dogs and a winning team. Devoted to retrievers and motorsports, we are Pepperjack Kennels. Visit us online to learn more.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Cars Tour Weekly. I'm Jess, joined by the lovely Keely Dubinsky, and we have 3-time late model stock champion Bobby McCarty with us. Bobby, thanks for joining us.
Thank you all for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so this year is going to look a little different than years past. You are with a new team. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Marcus and I he actually helped me with my first car back in 2013 or so. And things were changing for me last year. And I think we was actually camping somewhere and we just kind of talked about it, and things just kind of played out. You know, we have a bunch of really cool partners. Kurt stuck with me with Solid Rock, and then Pepperjack and WG Speaks, and everybody come on board. I mean, there's a ton of people that's involved in this deal. And we got to run the whole 6 number, which is what I started with. So it's a bunch of really cool stuff going on. And I've been super pumped. We've had terrible luck here lately, but hopefully that'll change.
Yeah, that's really cool that you are still getting to work with your sponsors. We talked to Kurt last week from Solid Rock Carriers, and then of course Pepperjack Kennels, the show sponsor. We love those guys. And if I'm not mistaken, you also brought your crew chief over with you. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Triplet come with me. Marcus has 2 younger kids that help him on his team. I say they're young. To me, they're younger. I don't even think they're 20 yet. Rob and Caleb. And I told Marcus, I mean, they're very, very smart for their age. So we have really good people involved. Bill Steen come on board with us too, and we're doing a lot of test and tuning, some R&D with them. And it's just to be able to bring my crew chief and work with Marcus, which is, somebody familiar, it's really, really cool.
Bobby, it's no secret that you are a veteran of this series. So can you talk a little bit about how the competition has changed, especially just over the past 2 years, and where you feel like you're going to be stacking up in that competition this year?
Yeah, so it seems like every year it gets harder. I raced with Brian Pemberton years ago, like 2009, 2010, and now his son's running the late model tour, and he's been messaging me about it, and we've been talking. I've been kind of helping Landon, some really good kid, really, really quick driver. And I told him, I said, he asked me what I thought. And I said, the Cars Tour is really good for making you question yourself on how good you really are, just because of how difficult it is to run this deal. And it's always crazy. Every year we always say the same thing. You can't get no harder. And then the next year rolls around and it's harder than the year before. So it's really cool. We're kind of spread out, across the board. We got young kids, we got older guys. So it's pretty cool.
Now that we have a few races under our belt here with the new ownership, as a veteran driver, are things at the track kind of business as usual? Have you noticed any big changes? Or what are your thoughts in general on the new ownership group?
I think it gives us drivers a bigger platform. I really just hope the product doesn't change, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
They're a big group of people, and they're well, we can just say it, they're famous. So the biggest thing for me is we try to keep our core from the last 7 years or so, or however long we've been doing it the way we've been doing it. I just don't. I'm kind of a purist when it comes to this stuff, and I like the old school way better. So I think it'll make our sport better. I just kind of hope we don't forget where we came from. You know what I mean? I want to keep short track racing the way short track racing has been for the last however many years. But like I said, it's a really cool experience. It gives all of us drivers a different platform to race on, and a lot more eyes are looking. So I think it's a good thing for the most part.
Oh, Keely, did you write that down?
Yes, I did.
Okay, stick to roots.
Stick to roots. Got it. It's in my head now. And Bobby, you have kind of been known, especially over the last few years, to help out with those younger drivers, obviously driver coaching, because ultimately most of the young kids that come into the series, if not all of them, look up to you at being a 3-time champion. Talk a little bit about what it's like to be driver coaching and knowing that you're helping out our younger kids.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've got to work with a lot of cool people. Ty Gibbs, Sammy Smith, working with Connor Jones now, and Connor's has really listened really, really well. We've run 2 races together, and at Florence, he did a really good job, finished 4th, kept his car in one piece, and showed up when it was time to go. So to be able to pass the information along that's been passed to me throughout the years is really, really cool. And it's nice to see, a lot of these kids are quick. And I'm on the fence about doing the driver coach deal, because I'll pull a rope. I'm not going to push a rope. And I don't really work with speed. You either got it or you don't. I'm not going to teach you how to be fast. That's not something I'm going to do. But I work more with driver feedback. Is the biggest thing. Is they're kind of lazy when it comes to describing the car. They'll just come in and say, "Oh, it's tight," or "It's loose," and that's not good enough. You have to explain exactly where it's loose at. If it's on the brake, off the brake, initial throttle, max wheel input. And then we work with just racecraft, being smart with your car, and making sure you have a car to race with towards the end of the run. So, all these kids, they're really, really good. They're really quick. And, for me, like I said, I helped Ty some and I helped Sammy some, and now they're both on TV. So it's pretty cool to see that play out, and know that whether it was a small or a big part, I got to play a part in it.
Well, I really appreciate you joining us today, Bobby, and shooting us straight on some of these topics that, being a driver that has competed in this series long term and had a lot of success, I know you have sometimes a different perspective than everyone else. Yeah. So thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't know if it'd be a different perspective. I just kind of, I tell it how it is, and sometimes people like it, sometimes they don't. But I don't play sunshines and rainbows around here. But thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank y'all for covering this stuff, and talking to all us drivers individually, and giving us a platform to just talk. It's really cool. Thank y'all.
No doubt. Thanks for joining us. And when we come back on Cars Tour Weekly, we will be talking to Chris Edwards.
Racing returns to the legendary Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. The 49th running of the Icebreaker. See past super late models hit the track. It's one of the area's oldest modified traditions, the Icebreaker, paying $10,000 to win for the ground-pounding modified. It's the 49th annual Icebreaker at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, and you can watch it all only on Racing America.
SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel are your all-inclusive motorsports warehouses with more than 450 product lines. They have everything to put you in victory lane, from professional racing to street performance. SRI and Stock Car Steel have you covered with leading brands as well as a large selection of steel, aluminum, and plastics. With locations in North Carolina and Indiana, access has never been easier. SRI has the world's largest inventory of used parts. SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, your one-stop shops for everything racing.
Hey, I'm Dylan Hart Jr. You're watching Racing America.
Welcome back to today's episode of Cars Tour Weekly, presented by Pepperjack Kennels. Now we are joined by Chris Edwards. He is a crew chief in the Cars Tour, and we are very excited to hear what he has to say about what he's going on this season. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I don't think we've had a crew chief on.
No,
yet.
He's the first.
Okay, so let me just get this question out of the way, because I've been asking everyone what their opinions are on, the new ownership coming in, what it's been like at the track. As a crew chief, does this really affect you at all? Or are you kind of just like, oh, that stuff is, for them to worry about, and I'm more focused on the mechanics?
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, nothing's changed. All the tech officials are pretty much the same as far as we can see. So it's always a pleasure to work with those guys, Gary and his crew. And of course, Jack, he's still around doing his thing. So it really hasn't affected us at all as far as what we're doing. And it's we have seen more exposure on social media and different things like that. So we're looking forward to what the future holds as far as, the tour. So, we'll see what happens.
Chris, you have such a different story coming into this series, with Chase. And I want you to talk a little bit about last year and how, it had started off where Chase was just going to fill in for one race. That turned into a full season, claiming the Rookie of the Year title until now. So can you just talk a little bit about like how crazy of a whirlwind that has been for you and your team?
Oh, it has been. Well, I've watched the kid grow up and race since he was doing arena racing at the Coliseum in Richmond. So it's been cool to see him, grow up and evolve and get to this point. He did have an opportunity last year that Rusty Skews gave him. The Top Gun Motorsports, basically wanted to see Chase in the car at Caraway and see how the car performed, see how the equipment performed, and we knew that he didn't see the place, and heck, I haven't been to Caraway in years. So for us to go there together and perform well, I think we got a fifth or sixth or something like that particular race. And at that point, we went to Hickory. I think we finished fifth or sixth there. And at that point, Rusty was like, if you want to, race it the rest of the year, you're more than welcome to. So we made arrangements for that to happen. And that's where we're at. We're still there. So we brought on some sponsors. Medic came aboard, Adam Medic. So we're looking forward to, continue to do what we're doing, do what we love, you know?
Well, speaking of sponsors, how does it financially benefit you guys to be part of this Touring 12 program that is specific to the Cars Tour?
Well, it gives Chase and myself more exposure. You know, we're the Touring 12, right? So, you know, Chase is in a lot of the videos. They went to Charlotte to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, I believe, and you know, took a lot of videos and pictures of the Touring 12. So, you know, like I said, you know, with this year, you know, we've only 2 races in, so we've already seen, you know, more fan base as far as my page, and management runs that. Erin, she does a really good job with that. She's trying to keep up with us and all the cars that we got going on. But yeah, it's good. It's just more exposure, you know, for us, and as far as cost, it saves you every week as far as getting into the gates and fuel and different perks throughout the year that they give you.
And Chris, we watch you work your tail off at the racetrack. You know, you've had a little bit of bad luck at the beginning of the season with some motor issues and things, but something that I guess would just like to say is that it is so cool, like how you're just always piecing that team back together no matter what goes wrong. And so for you, I can tell that you love what you do, but what really drives that passion?
I guess the ones that taught me, you know, I don't know anything different. I've worked with, you know, Rick Townsend at Townsend Racing Products. So our product, you know, we took a lot of pride in I mean, you know, even cutting the tubing and grinding the tubing and making sure that our race cars are a little bit better than, say, our competitors. That's basically all it is in a nutshell, being around those guys to be able to teach me, you know, that this is what it takes to be able to win and be able to run up front consistent every week.
Well, Chris, we really appreciate you joining us today and talking about what you guys got going on working with Chase Burrow this season. And we look forward to see what you guys do together again.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to going into Hickory, I guess, on April 22nd and have a little bit better showing than we did at Florence. So,
yep, just a few more weeks, you guys will be able to watch. That's Chris Edwards and his driver Chase Burrow in the Cars Tour. And when we come back, we will chit chat about what the Cars Tour has going on in the next few weeks.
Racing returns to the legendary Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. The 49th running of the Icebreaker. See past super late models hit the track. It's one of the area's oldest modified traditions, the Icebreaker, paying $10,000 to win for the ground-pounding modified. It's the 49th annual Icebreaker at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, and you can watch it all only on Racing America.
The secret is, it's quicker.
Griffith is going to sweep the weekend.
PFC brakes, more championships than any other.
From late models to modifieds on pavement and dirt, with at-track service like no other.
Success means no compromises.
Fourth Rattler win for Ty Majeski.
Lighter, stiffer, cooler, quicker. PFC brakes, the secret is, it's quicker.
Welcome to Raceface Digital Collectible Cards. Are you a driver or a team looking to expand your brand? Want to connect with your fans, give sponsors more exposure, and earn income from all card sales? Then Raceface Digital has you covered. Digitize your brand with 5 different collectible cards. Enrollment is now open to all drivers and all series. Visit racefacedigital.com today and use invite code RA1.
Believe it. Right now, racing, in my opinion, is as healthy as it's been in the last 15 to 20 years.
Just wanted to make that first lap.
Welcome back to Cars Tour Weekly, presented by Pepperjack Kennels. And speaking of Pepperjack Kennels, we have a very special guest that has just joined us here at the desk. Keely?
Yes.
Tell us who we have here.
We have Molly here with us today.
But Molly also goes by Stu, and please explain why.
Okay, so I'm one of those people that has like 1,000 different names for her. And like every time she gets a haircut, I think that she looks like Stewie Griffin. So now she actually hardly comes when I call her Molly. So now she's just Stu.
And Stu, I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, I don't think you meet the criteria for the programs at Pepperjack Kennels. I could be wrong. We need to get Misty on the show and ask. Maybe she could do something with you, but
you see how sad she just got?
Yeah. Wow. Sorry. I thought, dang, I thought I was giving you like a free pass. How old is she?
She's about to be 14.
Oh my gosh.
She's an old girl.
You look great for your age. And what breed is she?
So she's a Yorkie Maltese.
Okay, so Pepperjack Kennels is typically labs, but maybe they can make something work.
Maybe there would be like a senior citizen discount or something. Misty, we should talk.
So you got a few weeks off here, but then Car Store is going to be hitting the track here soon at Hickory, April 22nd. And then, of course, we got Wilkesboro coming up and that big money race at Tri-County. So I know you guys are going to be super busy, and keep your mom sane, please. Thank you. Okay. Well, we want to thank Bobby McCarty for joining us on the show today, along with Chris Edwards. And remember, replays of today's show and lots of other good stuff can be found on racingamerica.com. And what else am I supposed to remind you of? Oh, the Racing America 24/7 channel. I leave that on for my sweet boy Gus. Maybe Stu would enjoy watching that while you're gone.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, when you can't bring her in and you're not home. Anyway, you can also check out our social channels for Cars Tour coverage and just short track racing coverage in general. That's at Racing America. And next week, we'll prep you for Hickory. So for Keely Dubinsky, I'm Jess Ballard saying thank you again for joining us on this episode of Cars Tour Weekly, presented by Pepperjack Kennels. And we'll see you next week.
What creates a winning combination? Quality, focus, discipline, and most importantly, speed. At Pepperjack Kennels, we provide exceptional water and land training services for hardworking retrievers. From leading in the field to leading on the track, together we establish winning dogs and a winning team. Devoted to retrievers and motorsports, we are Pepperjack Kennels. Visit us online to learn more.
Welcome to Raceface Digital Collectible Cards. Are you a driver or a team looking to expand your brand? Want to connect with your fans, give sponsors more exposure, and earn income from all card sales? Then Raceface Digital has you covered. Digitize your brand with 5 different collectible cards. Enrollment is now open to all drivers and all series. Visit racefacedigital.com today and use invite code RA1.
Hey gang, join Scott Hansen, myself, and a host of other drivers on what will be the largest short track party at sea. Sail Eastern Caribbean on the Norwegian Encore January 7th to the 14th of 2024. Enjoy unlimited drinks, a special question and answer session, and have a chance at racing Scott and myself on the go-kart track. Call Market Memories Travel at 262-527-1341 or visit mymmtravel.com and click on the link to Bickle's Bon Voyage link for information.
Racing returns to the legendary Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. The 49th running of the Icebreaker. See past super late models hit the track. It's one of the area's oldest modified traditions, the Icebreaker, paying $10,000 to win for the ground-pounding modified. It's the 49th annual Icebreaker at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, and you can watch it all only